both just got a bit of punch off the corners, but David Wall, John Bowe, they've got a much faster cars, but Hackett's been a little bit defensive there. Bowe at the inside.
Yeah, you see John's race, he could pull a gap on these two if he could get through.
The problem in this, well, it's not a problem in this category. It's actually a good thing about there's a fire here. That's a fuel fire. I hope he's pulled that up at a marshal's post. That's the first thing you do when your car's on fire. Look for some signs with the F on it where you know there's some extinguishers. But yeah, as I was saying, with this category, the Lamborghini will be extremely fast here in some of the faster sections. Some of the slower sections will suit the Porsche, and there'll be other sections that will suit John Bowe and the Ascari. So they all have strengths, but they also all have weaknesses.
As Peter Hackett holds these two cars behind him up a little bit, Bowe in the yellow, Ascari in the background. Dean Grant is closing in lap by lap behind this three.
So Max Twigg still leading out front. James Kanduris second place, and they've got a bit of a breather because, as I say, Peter Hackett been a little bit defensive. You can see they're all over the back of them. And this is what you hear in the Formula Ones. They can't run this close because there's so much downforce. In these cars, obviously not so much downforce, so allows for them to be able to run nice and close to each other.
Very different to drive, as you said to me also, though. An engine problem here, maybe.
I think this might even go back to the original fire that we saw earlier. There's Andrew Taplin there having a bit of a spin. Now, he was one of the ones that got caught up in the accident yesterday. He got the whole right-hand side of the car hit, ripped the suspension out. So a lot of work for his boys overnight, but nice to see him back. Wall's really frustrated. Great move here. He's got up the inside, but, you know, like, to be fair, Hackett just kept crowding him until he got him onto the grass. But JB's going to take advantage of this. Quite clearly slower than David Wall, so no real need to crowd him that far over.
Hackett's spending his time now looking in his mirrors, just covering.
But you can see how much slower he is than the JB behind him, because now you've got Dean Grant and the Mosler has caught up 3 seconds in 1 lap. So you know, he's got to start looking back out the windscreen and not worry about JB trying to do his own job.
The Mosler compared to this Ascari, is JB going to be in a situation now where he needs to put a move on Hackett?
This is the replay here. Hackett just keeps moving, and then you see poor old David Wall. He actually has to start braking on the grass. But David Wall, look, he's a great driver. He was in the right position and just got a little bit crowded there.
A battle further back in the field. Car 32 looks like it was having a little problem there.
You can see the leaders, Max Twigg. You know, he's in the low 2-minute bracket, and then when we jump back, Peter Hackett's 2:05.1. So he's at a point where he's almost blocking now to the extent of 5 seconds a lap. So I'll tell you, if there's one guy out there that won't put up with it, is John Bowe. He'll have a lunge.
Dean Grant's made the change this weekend also to the Mosler.
Actually, Dean Grant just firing up the inside. JB's obviously got a problem, just dropping right back there. So
he's going to pull off.
He's pulling off there. A couple of spits of rain on the camera lens there. Yeah, JB will be disappointed with that. He was looking forward for a good battle on this one, and it was just brewing nicely.
And Dean Grant made the change this weekend to a Mosler also.
Yeah, well, he sold his Lamborghini, which was a little bit surprising, and he decided he wanted to have a go in the Mosler. So he's leased a Mosler off Tony Quinn. Quinn had been in a fortunate position where he had 2 of them and an Aston Martin, and I reckon there's not many people in this country that would have more race cars parked in their garages than Tony Quinn.
That was the move earlier as John Bowe slows there off to the side of the circuit.
I must say the only part that disappoints me there, that happened on the entry to turn 9, and JB's parked a thing on the blind straight. Well, when I say blind straight, it's a straight, but it's got a curve in it on the run down to from 10 to 11. So I hope we don't have to pull out a safety car when he probably could have just driven it off the track.
Back through the field, car 55, Crick. The Audi there that we mentioned earlier, great looking car.
Yeah, Mark Eddy loves this car. He said it's one of the nicest race cars he's owned, and he's owned plenty of them. He's had Lamborghinis, all sorts of Porsches, and he said he just loves the car. He was, he said he nearly had a tear in his eye at Adelaide when he bumped it into the tyres.
The Viper.
Dodge Viper, Greg Crick, a great character. He was actually the driver standards observer last year for this category, and he said he couldn't handle it. His feet got a little bit too itchy and jumped back into a Viper. So Cricky's raced all sorts of things, from trucks to Vipers to Porsches to V8 supercars. I remember he's been in Stone Brothers as an endurance driver. He's extremely experienced and knows the Dodge Viper very well. He's campaigned it and won the championship in one of these cars. Jim Richards there, look, fantastic driver. He's probably a little bit frustrated sitting there. If you have a look now on the straight, Jimmy will just drop away. He's in a 420 horsepower Carrera Cup car, but by the time he gets out of the run from 11 to 12, he'll be back on them. And in real terms, that car is just not even in the class or the level of the two that are in front of him. Look how hard Jimmy's driving.
Must be frustrating for him. You know,
it's very frustrating for him.
You think yourself, why? You know, I know how much Jimmy loves his racing, but you think, why do you do it yourself? Put yourself through that punishment of...
Look, one of the things with this category is you can drive whatever you want, but if there's already 5 Audis in there,
yep,
you can't have a 6th one. And there was already 5 Porsche Cup S's like Max Twig on screen. Actually, we've got Cup S's 1st, 2nd and 3rd. There's 5 allocations and that's it.
So you've got to wait for a window to come open.
Correct. He needs he had a car. Oh, there's a big accident here. Just trying to work out which car that is.
John Bow has
He's hit John Bow.
Oh, no.
This is what we discussed earlier. Bow had parked it. I said it was a straight, but it's a blind. It's a blind corner.
Well, you picked that one.
Yeah, I've driven the circuit enough. You just can't see round there, and I did bring it up. I wondered why he didn't park it somewhere else, and I'm sure there's a reason to it, but I just hope JB's okay. He's popped out from behind another car, hasn't spotted. That is an absolute... Yeah, that's absolutely terrible there. I hope JB, both drives, I'm trying to identify which Porsche that is. I must be honest, I don't know, and it's just horrific that.